We have the whole meeting. So Chloe, I record each of our meetings. I think the middle one, I kind of started a little bit late. And then I post those for the students that have not been able to make the meeting because we're virtual right now, and there's a lot of issues about making meetings, but they will do a reflection on our meeting tonight. And this will be posted as a video as well. So, and I'll make that available to you and Becky for whatever purposes you guys might want. It'll be just a YouTube video. So, and away we go. All right. So I'll start with any questions anybody has right off the bat, and I'll hang in after, or we can talk about it offline. Anything going on? Henry, you seem to be right on top of everything. Any questions at all about what's going on?
No, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very good.
Okay. All right, good.
I'm excited for this new chapter.
Yeah, a new chapter. There you go. It's like a book, isn't it? New chapter each time, and a new story each time. So away we go. Yeah. Anything else? Madeline, are you okay? What's going on with you?
Nope, I'm all good.
Awesome.
Just waiting
Blossom.
for today's presentation.
Awesome Blossom. Okay, good. And it's actually an interactive presentation. You'll have some fun working with this as well. So Jocelyn, what do you think?
All good as well. Just ready for today.
You're ready to do rock and roll. Okay, good for you. Okay, Nancy?
Same here.
Same rock and roll. Okay, good. All right. Travis, you're always right on top of this. What's going on with you? Travis is off eating dinner.
Yeah, no.
Oh, there you are. Okay, good.
I'm pretty pumped right now.
You're rock and roll pumped. Okay, good to hear. And we got Lee. What are you at? Are you out on the boat, or where you at tonight?
No, sir. I just got done mountain biking though. Came back from Peters Canyon.
Oh, no kidding. Mountain biking, rock and roll. Good for you. Are you pretty buff?
No, not ever since. I've been out of the Army for a while now, so I'm adapted to civilian life.
Okay, but you're trying to keep healthy, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. All right, Sarah, what's going on in your life?
I'm busy chatting away privately with Chloe, actually, because she is in Missouri and that's where I want to move to, or like the Kansas City area next year.
Okay. Well, Nadia, on you for going behind the scenes and trying to make your life better. No, good for you. Yeah, I applaud that. And that is awesome. And actually, any of the guest speakers, any of the folks that visit our class, the understanding is that they visit because they want to help you be successful in whatever you're trying to accomplish. So if you need their email, if you want to get in touch with them or talk to them, whatever, I wouldn't have people here that did not want to be supportive of what you're trying to do. So that's an understanding that we have between us. So, okay, so we'll get rolling here. We've got the Enactus team, and we had one of the program managers on our first class this morning, and then Chloe, who has joined us tonight, was on my second session, and she's here right now. So we're going to talk about Enactus, and it's a weird name. I mean, Enactus. What? It's not. If you look it up in the dictionary, I'm not sure it's there yet. It probably should be, but it's not quite. So make sure you check in as here. But first thing I'm going to do is a little poll, because I asked you guys and gals to check this out, go on the site, Enactus United States, and because it's a global organization, they have websites for every country that they're in that are different, and Enactus United States is the one that we're in, and you can register and you can check it out and see what they do. So I'm gonna just run a little poll here to see who took the time to do that, and to see what you learned from that. So here we go. So you guys ready? So this is poll number 1, and it's the question is, what do the letters ENACTUS stand for? Okay, so obviously there's got to be something behind it if it's an acronym. And so I'm going to launch that polling and we'll see what you guys think. So take a shot at it. Is it energy and action for us or for USA? Entrepreneurship across the USA? Entrepreneurship and action for us? Enterprise activities in use for society? Enacting useful solutions. What do you think? All of those have those initials in there, Enactus. See what you guys think. All right. So we got 14 to 34. We're about halfway there. Keep rolling. All right, we're at 28 to 34. I don't know, for some reason, maybe you guys have, maybe you're looking this up, I don't know. Maybe you went on site.
I don't get the poll. On
You
my
don't get
end,
it?
I don't get it. Yeah, I didn't get it.
You don't have it now, right on your screen?
No.
I took that poll 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at it. Anybody else? I mean, I've got 31 out of 34 students that have taken the poll, so. Who said they didn't have the poll?
Jason Perez.
All right, so we're at 31 to 34, missing 3 people. But I'm going to shut it down because I want to move on. We've got a busy schedule here with Chloe online, and so I'm going to end the polling and share the results. So this tells me that you guys actually paid attention and went online and took a look, because 68% of you said it's entrepreneurship in action for us, which is actually correct. And this organization, when I first joined it in 2012, was called SIFE, S-I-F-E, which was Students in Free Enterprise. But they looked at that as being not really representative of what they do. And so they, I don't know all the work that went behind the scenes to rebrand, but they rebranded their organization and they called themselves Enactus. And I thought that's kind of a strange name, but as it's turned out, and Chloe, I don't remember how long ago they called themselves Enactus. But at this point, that's what they call themselves, Enactus, and you guys guessed it, entrepreneurship in action for us. I made up all these other names. I thought they were pretty creative, but and I caught a few of you, but not enough to make me feel good about that I really spoiled it. But good for you guys for figuring this out. And so I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to introduce our guest, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do a co-hosting with her so that we can make sure that we all share the same information. And so please welcome our guest, and that is Chloe Schock. And she will be a co-host here in about 1 second. And that will allow her to share her information. And away we go. So welcome, Chloe, to our class. And we have 35 people on board right now. So the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you. I am going to make sure I am sharing my right screen once I start this presentation here. So give me 1 second to pull that up so I do not have the same mistake as last time, which I think I have to share my screen before I do that. So screen, one share. Let's. Okay, switch that over.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, hopefully this will go better. So did you see the slide change to my name?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, cool. We had a little mishap the first time, but as Mike said, my name is Chloe and I am the Senior Regional Program Manager for Enactus United States, focusing on team resource development. A little bit of background about me. I joined Enactus, well, at the time it was SIPE when I was a student, had about a year and a half with that opportunity. My marketing professor was our Enactus advisor, and we operated just kind of as a club standings outside of class. She had some students come in and talk about a project that they were working on with a local restaurant that my family and I ate at a lot. So that kind of sparked my interest, and I started joining the meetings and kind of went from there and snowballed. After I had graduated, I had seen there was an opportunity to work for Enactus, and I was super excited just because I had such a great time and wanted to share what I knew and share my passion with other students and help them take advantage of way more opportunities than I did when I was a student and have that same time. I've worked with Enactus for 7 years now, mostly working with teams more on the East Coast and on the Midwest. The team resource development aspect really shares focusing on managing the training center and some different resources that we have I'll share later on. And so that's been super excited, and I'm glad to share a little bit more about Enactus and the opportunities with you all today. So a little bit just what is Enactus? We really believe that utilizing entrepreneurial action in doing experiential learning, so taking what you learn in the classroom, applying it to a real world problem to create a solution that benefits your community worldwide or wherever that is really a great way to create sustainable social entrepreneurship presence or projects. On the screen, you can see a little bit, we're in 36 countries, roughly 70,000 students. Looking at Enactus teams, we have some teams that operate in a class format. I believe that's 20-ish%. And then others are just freestanding organizations. But each organization or team has a faculty advisor, so someone who is employed by the university leading the students. And then the students, we kind of share the success for each team is really sharing their passion, their motivation, and creating projects to help their community. And teams also have business advisory boards, which are other individuals around campus and their community, partner companies that really want to support the team and the students and see them grow. Each business advisory board is a little bit different depending on what the needs of the team are, but they can be there, giving you guys project ideas, helping you along with projects, connecting the resources, mentoring, really whatever each team needs. Like I had mentioned earlier, my focus was on resource development. So we do want to provide Enactus students with all the things that we can to really be successful themselves and also create successful projects. So on the screen, we have a training center, a bunch of different types of events. We have interaction with our partner companies and our regional program managers as ways to support you as new teams and developing teams and those who've existed for a while. A little bit more on the professional development side. While we do support the teams, we also want to think about you as students and kind of connecting you with more professional development opportunities through our connections and our network. So we do have mentoring relationships that our Enactus staff members do, as well as our partner companies. I'm going to slowly post in the chat the direct link that you can read a little bit more about these, but we have virtual career fairs, virtual networking. We've had this fall semester resume reviews, LinkedIn reviews, mock interviews, and a virtual career fair. I think we had almost 12 companies participating. We are hoping to do that again in the spring semester, I believe end of January, early February timeframe. So if you stick around and are registered, you can definitely participate in these. The next slide we do have, there we go. some of the partner companies that are hiring Enactus students now. One of the benefits that our partner company sees in Enactus students is that they know that they can juggle their classwork, their work, as well as creating sustainable projects. And they kind of see how that will easily transition into their company. So they really know that Enactus students are going to be a great value to their company. There we go. I posted in a chat the direct link that you can learn a little bit more about these specific partner companies and their open jobs that they have full-time, part-time, and I believe some internships as well. So I'm sure you recognize some of the names and some of them may be new. So this is just those that are hiring. We do have lots of sponsors on our main US site. You can see a list of them and just kind of look. Oh, sorry about the first link. If you click on, I'll send that out later on. I kind of just added a little bit more in there. But the companies, they really see the value of the Enactus students and kind of go to them as their first picks. I shared earlier, students that have Enactus on their resumes or in their, talk about it in their interviews. The partner companies that I've chatted with really see that their passion shines through and finds that once a student gets over some of those nerves talking about Enactus, they just kind of take on from there. So one of the things I mentioned at supporting team is the Enactus Training Center. We revamped this over the summer to really be more convenient for students. You can search based on topics. You can search based on your role in the team. So the second picture here, you can see if you're the president, there's some different resources there. If you're marketing, thinking of tactics to find new students, help recruitment, retention. And like I said, topics, we do have a whole section here about COVID. So really trying to figure out how to manage your team in this the new reality, as everyone might be sick of hearing by now. But one of the things that is exciting about the Enactus Training Center, as you'll see in the first picture, we have a course login. So we utilize Moodle, which is a learning management system similar to Blackboard or Canvas, kind of whatever you use for your online classes, that we have different courses that are created by partner companies, by our faculty advisors, to really share that knowledge with you. So one of the examples, we have Intuit created and shared a course around their Design for Delight process that they use, their employees use with their customers. Some of the faculty created courses, we have one on budgeting basics, looking at how to lead as a member of a team. So a lot of great opportunities. Some of them are hours, some of them are a little shorter, but they're there for you 24/7 to utilize whenever you need them and whenever you want to. So a lot of these have been added. And one of the things that I like now is we're really trying to find all the resources that we can provide. We're at the bottom of one of these screens, we have an option, is there something that you see that you don't see that you'd like, just, share it with us and we can try to create something. I'm missing my list of posting links here. There we go. That is the main site for that. One of the things that I think is an additional value to students and really a way to help them stand out from the already great pool of Enactus students is the BNY Mellon Enactus Student Fellows Program. So BNY Mellon is a company that's funded this program for students over the past 4 years to really find a select group of the students that we have here in the US and give them more of an opportunity to grow professionally and to help them better create successful teams. This year, the program has 3 topics that we're focusing on: entrepreneurship, leadership, and career readiness. So with the entrepreneurship section, we have partnered with Gallup, and we have the Gallup BP 10 or Builders Profile 10, where you take an assessment and you'll get your entrepreneurial or builders profile talent strengths ranked 1 through 10. There's an interactive workbook on the learning management system platform that you can go through, really kind of more of that self-reflection, and then have the opportunity to have a coaching call with Enactus staff to really just kind of talk through that, what you've learned, what's new, what you see in yourself. So that's roughly $20. That's paid for you by joining the program. There's a few other courses in there, the Intuit courses in there around design for delight. I believe that budgeting basics course is in there. The leadership section, one of the things that I'm super excited about that's new this year is doing the LPI learners or leadership profile 360 assessment, which I think is roughly $200 that you'll take an assessment and have other classmates, your boss, other professors take for you so you can get a full look at yourself as a leader, and you really utilize that. So that's one thing I'm a little jealous of you guys getting able to take that. I think is great if it's not something you've taken before, not something that's provided in one of your classes. Definitely a nice price tag that's covered by BNY Mellon as being part of this program. And the third focus is looking at career readiness, specifically in a digital era. What's awesome about this, in addition to learning all those professional skills, all the networking skills for yourself, we do have some different awards that we provide. There's a one-day virtual business networking conference. I think we're aiming for April, looking at a business as a force for good. We'll have recognition for students at our national exposition in the spring as well as some different ways to kind of brag on your success, a digital badge on LinkedIn, certificate, lapel, t-shirt, and a name badge ribbon. So this is all self-paced. We have it broken out, each of the different program steps throughout the whole year. Roughly, it'll probably take 11 hours or so, give or take a little bit with the leadership assessment. So that's definitely a great opportunity. It's individual. So if one of you guys or two of you guys want to do it and the whole class doesn't, that is totally fine. Great way to just kind of get a few different skills in there. So now just kind of talking about projects, what I really feel like is our meat of Enactus, really looking at the main focus for students. So these are just 3 examples that we have, and there are tons of projects. So the first picture is the Fertilives from City University of Seattle. The Enactus team there partnered with a school of individuals with disabilities and really taught them how to create fertilizer using natural products and worms to create fertilizer that they then sold, creating a business. The second picture in the top right is from Evangel University, actually here in Springfield. They worked with a nonprofit in Ethiopia to build and fund a small community board of women where they were able to use their entrepreneurial talents and sell things in the community. So having that safe space, allowing these women to create an income that they may not have had in the past, and also had a focus on providing clean water for the community. And the bottom right picture is Grounds for Growth from University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, where they upcycle discarded soap and coffee grounds to create scrubs and other products that they sold. And it's not the team creating it, it's actually homeless individuals that they had in the community and provided a opportunity for them to create another source of income or a source of income. One of the things that I think is great about Enactus and the projects is each team really can pick their passions and figure out, what's important to them, to their community, and go and create projects that way. And so kind of you think there's a lot of ideas, a lot of ways to create projects. Enactus has a criterion that we have for teams to kind of provide a little bit of direction. So the criterion asks the question, which Enactus team most effectively demonstrated entrepreneurial leadership to drive business and innovation for sustainable positive impact to benefit people, planet, and prosperity within the last year. So on this slide, Enactus provides definitions on some of those keywords. So entrepreneurial leadership, innovation, the use of business principles, and sustainable positive impact. This we like to see as kind of like a guidelines framework for projects. And another way we like to share is utilizing the UN Sustainable Development Goals as kind of a common language with teams across the US and across globally to kind of talk about things. So the UN Sustainable Development Goals are 17 different goals that focus on different areas. And we thought that those were so important that our Enactus and some of our partner companies, foundations that support Enactus, have created challenges and race opportunities for teams. So which these are, they're focused either, we have the water race or one race for oceans. So focused on specific SDGs, and teams will create projects around those ideas with the opportunity to have additional funding that they win. So the Race for Oceans has been 2 years going. Their water race, I think, is 2 or 3 years going, and really just kind of provides that framework and a little bit of fun competition for teams, and usually a nice pretty penny in additional funding if they win. So next, kind of just jumping right into our breakout discussion, looking at the SDGs, which ones you're interested in, and maybe a project idea or two. And Mike, oh, there you go.
All right. So we're going to do a little poll. And that poll has to do with around the world problems that people rate as being the most significant problems that we should solve in making our world a better place. So I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to lay out 10 different areas, and I want you to check and see which one you think is the most important. And then we'll roll into a little breakout group for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and discuss that. So here we go. So it's the top world issues. Choose one of concern to you. What do you feel the strongest about out of lack of economic opportunity, employment, safety, security, well-being, lack of education, food and water security, government accountability, corruption, religious conflicts, poverty, inequality, income, large-scale conflicts. So these are broad brush and wars. These are broad brush areas, but they pretty much cover most of the areas that people have concern about in what's going on with our world. So let's see what we got here. I got 19 to 36, so we're almost there. Got 65%. All right, 29. All right, so we're almost there, 85%. Couple more. Let's see what we got going here. Okay. We're all over the map. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so we got 2 more. If you haven't voted yet, go ahead and vote. Yeah, 1 more. All right. Okay, here we go. 1 more. All right. Who's waiting? Who's waiting? Who's trying to figure it out? Okay. All right. I'm going to end the polling, and we'll take a look and see the areas that people have the most concern about. And the reason that I'm asking you this is because 1, everybody has different perspectives, and 2, Enactus students all over the world are working on all kinds of aspects of these problems. And 3, as we go into November, our project 3, we're going to tackle and work on some of these particular areas locally in our area. And that's what I'm going to have you talk about in the breakout room. So here's what came up. So you can see the, I think, you know, and this is, this survey was actually done pre-COVID. But right now, the lack of economic opportunity and employment, almost 20% of you, but we also have poverty and inequality, income and discrimination. So those all basically are tied, as you can see. Some of the other areas, including climate change, So these are actually ranked from these are top 10 issues. And I didn't put that in there, but it's the top 10 world issues as surveyed by millennials around the world. And they are ranked in number 10 to number 1. So climate change actually 2 years ago was the predominant issue by about almost 50%. As you can see, it's going to drop back in significance because of COVID. So now inequality, poverty, income, economic opportunity have become more significant. So, which is very understandable. So, so let's roll into a breakout group session. I'm going to divide you into fairly small teams to chat a little bit about what you think in between the few people that are in your breakout group have concerns about, and then we'll come back and share those as well. So, okay, so here we go. So there's about, yeah, go ahead, Claude.
Oh, I was gonna say, I just posted in the chat the link to the SDGs and our Enactus criterion. So you can see those once you go into the breakout rooms.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody can see that. And so I'm going to open the rooms. We'll hold them
What are we
open.
talking about in the breakout rooms?
What's that?
What are we talking about in the breakout rooms? I'm
We're
not.
going to talk about what's significant to you as a small group. You just did this as a poll, but now I want you to chat a little bit about it and kind of come to, hey, this seems to be the area that we're most concerned about. Okay. So the idea is that to kind of open yourself up to focusing on the areas that really we think have the most issue right now, and then let's focus on those and see what we can do to solve them using entrepreneurial ways. Okay, here we go. All right, move back. Okay, I think we're all back now. So let's go around the room here a little bit, see what we learned. Room one was Chloe, Jose, Lexi, and Sarah. What'd you guys come up with?
For us, I just kind of shared about how in my heart, I feel like I'm more focused on like the quality of education because I was tutor, so I was able to kind of see a lot of what happens inside of the schools, not just kind of what's like presented as a report. And I think there's a lot of growth that should be in the education system and even like updates to the education system because I think it's a little outdated. But yeah.
K through 12, you're talking about.
Yeah, I was at actually no, I was tutoring at a K-8 school. So
K to
yeah.
8, okay.
In California.
So we've got to look at, if we look at Enactus, how can we impact education using entrepreneurial skills? So we don't need to do it tonight, but that's, you got to kind of put those two together. So, all right, room 2, we got Delfino, Francisco, Santiago, and Sylvia. I don't know where Delfino went, but I talked to some of the folks in that room. So what'd you guys come up with?
Santiago, you want to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, can you guys see me? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, go.
We were just, discussing. I share that for me, corruption in politics is important. For others in the group, it was poverty, and I think we also had, economic environment and lack of opportunity.
Okay. And that's pretty current, right? So, all right, I'll move on. Room 3 was Jocelyn, Giovanni, Raimundo, and Robert. What'd you guys come up with? Giovanni, what'd you come up with? Tough on the speaker system. Yeah. How about Robert? You around? Porter?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so what'd you guys come up with?
Well, we talked about a few different things, but the one thing that I thought was extremely important is the well-being of the economy primarily. And the reason that I feel that way is because, in a capitalist society like the United States, a lot of things are tied to our employment, being, that could be healthcare, it could be, dental care, vision, all that good stuff is tied to, mostly for most of us, it's tied to our employment. So when the economy is well, everybody's doing well. So I think that's extremely essential to, just life in general. And I think the one thing we should be sustaining is definitely our economy. And it's pretty obvious how entrepreneurship can contribute to that because so based on the research I've done, something like 40% of all businesses, something like that, are small businesses and entrepreneurs. So, well, not even just that, I'd say 40% are small businesses, and then the vast majority, obviously, of businesses are entrepreneurial in general. So that goes a long way to creating a healthy economy. And I think when more countries in the world are involved in entrepreneurship and get into free market economics and things like that, the better off the entire world is.
Yeah. Yeah, the actual numbers are a little higher than that, and but they've been the most impacted by the shutdown. So.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, big time. So good point. Okay, Ian, Maria, Pedro, Cheyenne, what'd you guys come up? Cheyenne, what'd you guys come up with there in your group?
So we talked about the poverty levels and how poverty has gotten worse, especially with COVID. Because before you can see a lot of homeless people around.
I was going to say, what defines poverty in your mind?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, what defines poverty? Where are we at with? How do you define if somebody's in a poverty level? Is it just straight income or living situation or what?
Well, we mostly discussed about their living situation.
Living situation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how like many families or individuals are on the street because of their poverty level.
On the street, living on the street.
Yeah, living on the street.
Yeah, and 10% of CSU students live in their cars or in their garage. They have no permanent housing, right? So they're considered homeless, and that's almost 50,000 students. So, and I'm sure that's probably higher now.
Yeah.
So thank you. Okay, appreciate you sharing. So room 5, Daisy, Edelyn, Henry, Sal, what'd you guys come up with?
We mentioned lack of employment opportunities, especially now with the layoffs, shutdowns, closures of businesses.
That'd be an area to take a focus on, right? How do we get that cash flow going? How do you get money back in people's pockets besides charity or just giving them money, right? So, yeah, good point. Okay. So room 6, Kimberly, Madeline, Nancy, and Nancy. What'd you guys come up with? Kimberly, what'd you guys focus on?
My group, they spoke about how racism is a big issue right now.
Racism. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that'd be a big challenge with entrepreneurship. How do we solve that? And there's a number of ways. Oh, well, surprisingly enough, there's a number of ways you can. And we may take one of the teams may want to focus on that, because that area is one that can be turned around a bit through entrepreneurship. So so we'll talk about that later. But thanks for sharing. So team 7 was Caesar, Jesuit, and Miguel and Oscar. So Oscar, what'd you guys come up with?
We talked about inequality. Well, myself, I talked about inequality. Miguel talked about education, and then Caesar talked about poverty. And then Jess as well talked about inequality, but we all kind of like tied it in with poverty. So yeah, that was the main topic that we're talking about.
All comes
Kinda
together.
like, yeah, it kind of comes all together.
Big challenge.
Thank
Big
you.
challenge. Yeah, you're welcome, Caesar. Thanks for contributing. Okay, room 8 was Kenia and Lisette, Chantel, and Travis. Travis, and what did you guys come up with?
We were talking about poverty. We didn't really have any answer to it, but I was just saying, like, most of the poverty is in like those. Someone was saying 10% of the world is at the poverty level, and I think that sounds correct, because there's a lot of countries like in Africa and India, they have like poor. And so I was thinking, if we pay for more money for their products, we would be willing to do that. So I said people are willing to, but how much do they have to pay? You know, so what's that number where you're willing to pay for more for like a T-shirt? Is it like 20%, 50%, 100% more? So yeah.
Chloe talked. Yeah, good point. Chloe talked about the World Cup. One of the teams that won the World Cup several years ago was a group out of Germany that developed a way to make eyeglasses in Africa for people, young people who could not go to school and could not read because they couldn't see, and they couldn't afford glasses. So they developed a very technological, simple glass that could be made by somebody on the street with equipment that wasn't too expensive, and could be sold for $2, and it cost them $1 to make. So they were able to make $1 on every glasses. They were sold it for $2, and it increased the ability for young people to see, which increased the educational opportunities. So these are the kind of things we're looking at. That's very sustainable, very needed, and away we go.
What does that have to do with the World Cup?
Because this team actually won the World Cup as a result of the work that they did by developing that capability. So they were able to solve people being able to see economically and sustainably by increasing the ability for people to have small businesses to make these eyeglasses. And so those small businesses allowed people to make a living, but also provided a very valuable benefit.
You're not talking about the World Cup though, as in soccer. I think that's what he's confused with.
Yeah,
Right?
the World Cup is actually an Enactus. Chloe mentioned it. So this is the cup. This is the championship for social entrepreneurship projects from around the world. Yeah, let's get our mind off sports. I know the Dodgers are in the World Series, but
Yeah, I thought we were talking about soccer.
yeah, we're not talking about soccer. We're talking about entrepreneurship in action for us, which is Enactus. Okay. So thanks for
And they have a World Cup.
yeah, thanks for helping me clarify that, Travis and Caesar. Room 9, last, Yvette, Lee, Sonia, Teresa, what did you guys talk about? Sonia, what do you guys cover? You there, Sonia Guerrero?
Yeah, we talk about how the economy went down with the COVID, and there's a lot of unemployment,
Yeah, it's true.
and we don't know if it is going to be worse after the presidential or better.
Well, we're going to find out in 2 weeks, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll make that, if we'll know in 2 weeks, but 2 weeks from tonight is we'll be counting the numbers. So make sure you guys vote intelligently, and we all worked on a project, so hopefully you're educated about the issues and aspects of voting. Yeah, so good point. Okay, so that's all our team. So I'm going to come back to you, Chloe, and ask for you to kind of wrap it up, summarize what we talked about, and get my team motivated to jump into Enactus, and away we go.
Yeah, so the idea with the SDGs is just to provide some common language and give you kind of like a starting point. So obviously looking at what's important to you, what's important in your community, and using the Enactus criterion and what you're learning in the classroom to really try to solve it to the best that you can. We did touch on events. So our national competition here in the US, we call it US National Exposition. So it's at the end of the year where each team goes and presents on the projects that they worked on, a real celebration of all their hard work throughout the year. There's networking, partners, their business and career fairs, and then our Enactus World Cup. Sadly, no soccer there, but I'm sure people bring soccer balls. But going and have the opportunity for each of the winners from the 36 countries to present on their projects till there is one winner. We do have for our team for the US this year, that one was Brigham Young University, Hawaii, and their project that they focused on was Rice Up based in the Philippines. So kind of using that cycle, training the farmers there in the Philippines how to best sell to better help provide them income and lift them out of poverty. And then the team that won for our Enactus World Cup was Egypt. And we have a little bit of a blurb on the screen about their project. And one of the big things that we see with Enactus is really looking at the Enactus advantage. And we really see that focusing on that experiential learning. So experiencing what you're learning, taking the challenges that you're seeing in the community, whether that's one of the numbers of the SDGs or a combination of some of them, and really kind of applying that to the real world. So not just thinking about it, but you guys will be out there doing it, working on those projects, and connecting with our Enactus community, or the us, student leaders, so yourself, business leaders, and academic leaders, and really kind of taking everything and calming it into solving issues for the world and the community. That is kind of all I had for Enactus as a whole. We really go ahead and share 2 more links and my email address that you guys can connect with me on, but Enactus is here, really professional development while helping you better prepare yourself as future leaders while supporting the community, whether that's locally or worldwide, with sustainable social solutions. So that is all I have. I definitely want to thank you guys for watching and joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice, Chloe. Thank you. And we'll leave it open here for a minute or two if anybody has any specific questions they'd like to ask Chloe, about joining Enactus, what's involved, anything, anything on your mind with that? So this organization's a beautiful organization, and it's one that I will, as we enter our project, ask you all to join Enactus. It costs you nothing, and it gives you everything. And but you need to give in return a bit by putting your thought to how you can make our world a better place. And that's what we'll focus on with our Project 3.
Thank you, Chloe. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your semester and all this joyful time.
All right.
Thank you.
So Chloe, appreciate it. And who as we go forward is our contact at Enactus?
That is a good question. If you just want to reach out to myself, I can help you from there till we have a more concrete answer.
Okay, so you'll be our touch point. All right, so just correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to have our students will enroll in Enactus, and we are going to run through a project in November that will be entrepreneurship in action for us oriented. And we celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week, which is the week just before Thanksgiving. That's an international celebration for entrepreneurship. My students will post their projects on that Global Entrepreneurship Week website, and along with there's about 30,000, 40,000 different entrepreneurial projects around the world, and that's what we're planning. So anything else that we should be thinking about?
Definitely once everyone signs up, we send monthly newsletters out, and then some more specific targeted emails for different opportunities we have. The career focused events will be brought back up in the spring semester. For the rest of the fall, we may just have a few training opportunities, kind of more around team support. But if you're interested in joining the BNY Mellon Enactus Student Fellows Program, that's definitely a great opportunity now that we have available. A lot of our stuff in the spring will all be virtual, most likely. But definitely, if you're signed up via email, you'll get all the different alerts about the opportunities that we have available.
So you'll still be virtual, do you think, going into the spring?
I would assume. So I don't, my personal opinion, but
Yeah. Well, we are. It's already been announced through the CSU system, our classes and everything. We will not be on campus through the spring semester, at least. So in a health, health regard. So, which is good. I think everybody respects that. So, well, listen, I enjoyed meeting you tonight. I enjoyed Becky, and I appreciate that you guys took time out of your nights to share with our class and with our attendees tonight. This organization, Enactus, is a phenomenal one, and I endorse anything that you do, and hopefully that you'll keep on going strong.
definitely thank you. And feel free to reach out to me. I put my email in the chat. I got to scroll a little bit, but I can help with any questions there if you have it. So thank you guys again.
All right, Chloe. See you later.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So we're gonna take about a 5-minute break and continue on. We've got to work on our project. We only meet once a week, so I want to make sure that we start off strong and get off to a good start on getting your project put together, and then moving into the, once we start in November, we only got about 3 weeks in November, Thanksgiving, and then 1 week after that in December, and we're done. So we're wrapping up the semester here. So let's make it a good one. So let's take about a 5-minute break. We will come back and work on our project and anything else that's on your minds.